Good evening, everybody. We're on a little bit early, kind of like we did last week, and we're going to be getting ready to go. Well, we are live right now, but we will officially start the show at 8:30 p.m. This is Texas Biker Radio number 338, and I'll be doing some stuff for a few minutes. And if you guys want to ask any question, the chat box is up. So I'll answer them as we go along here. Meanwhile, I got some stuff to do.
Yeah, I'm causing it.
Oh, you are? Okay. All right. Well,
I was checking to see our thumbs down friend hasn't shown up yet.
who has it? Oh, that guy. Yeah, he
Right.
doesn't do that till later. That's usually hours later. That's what makes me think.
Yeah,
That's what
probably after he gets off shift and has his donut.
Yeah, that's what makes me think it's a law enforcement guy. And we don't care if they listen to us. We're just, I mean,
Yeah.
we're just telling the truth as we know it, and we're just stating facts as we know it, and we talk about things we find out about, and if they don't like it, that's tough. That's
Right.
tough.
Apparently, my first comment didn't make the live stream.
Okay. Then again, it probably did, but
It didn't show on what
all about
what I
respect.
clicked on.
Yeah. Generally, it's all about respect. And let me see. We got 2 minutes. 2 minutes to waste here. Anything? Let me see who's online here. We got Christopher Majors, Tom Rayfield, Christopher Majors again. What's up, Popeye? Well, we're going to be talking about what's up. But today we did install my halo light on my motorcycle. OG did the work, and I was the drink holder. So, and man, is that thing bright. That is just cool as heck.
Yeah, in fact, today was the first opportunity I had to see what it looked like because I wasn't on my own bike. When you were behind me and I took you up through the gate, I was watching it in my rear view mirror, and it's bright.
Hey, OG, let me tell you, the wind coming out of the south, and it gusts up to 30, 35 miles an hour, whatever it is. It was a hair-raising ride home.
Yeah.
When I went out to the mansion, I was on the downwind, had wind behind me, but as I started going back and I was going against the wind, and let me tell you, it was bad.
Probably burned twice as much fuel going back
man.
as coming out.
Man, I was getting pushed all over the place. But anyway, Mel, it is 8:30 and it's time for us to start. Are you ready to go?
I am ready.
Are you ready for confusion? Okay, here we go, everybody. Good evening, Texas bikers and bikers all across the nation. This is Texas Biker Radio number 338. My name is Mel Popeye Moss, my co-host, Mel OG Robbins. We are your hosts each and every week, and it is sponsored by Sons of Liberty Riders MC and a few of our friends. And OG, are you want to do some small talk, or are you ready to get into it?
Oh, well, I think before I forget later on in the program, one of our sponsors is the Texas Coalition of Clubs and Independents Region 2.
That's exactly right.
I want to say it's an excellent opportunity. I did say Texas Coalition of Clubs and Independents. We run into independent riders all the time. They are more than welcome to come to the COC meetings. They're held every other month. The next meeting is next month on the 17th at Southern Junction in Royce City. The meeting starts at 2, but everyone shows up at about noon to enjoy the special of the day put on by Southern Junction and to have a few drinks and conversation. Meeting starts at 2. It's over promptly at 3. And what you're going to hear about in those meetings is what your rights are, what you should and should not be doing, what's going on with legislation, and any call to action that's out there relative to our need to respond to legislators to either slow the machine down on some terrible bill they're trying to pass that, once again impugns our rights, or to speed the machine up to get bills passed that we need direly, like the Dead Red Bill and the anti-profiling. So come visit us. There's no admission, and everyone's welcome.
That's exactly right. Hey, Mel.
Okay.
First, let's well, I'll tell you what, let's broach the constitutional carry right off the bat.
Okay.
Because of what happened the other day. I guess we had an advocate for constitutional carry show up at the Speaker of the House. I think his name is Bonner. He showed up at his house, wanted to ask him why the bill was stalled in committee. And so, so from that point on, now the Speaker of the House, Texas Speaker of the House, has said, well, because he showed up at my house, that bill is now dead. Now, let me say this. I believe in constitutional carry. Texas should be a constitutional carry state just because it's Texas.
It's embarrassing that we're not.
Exactly. But let me say this, Mel, about Mr. Bonner.
I think we should refer to him as Boner.
There you go. Let me say this about him. To be vindictive like that is kind of silly. Let me say this. I didn't know who this other guy was. I had no clue about any of that until the Speaker of the House started raising sand about him. Matter of fact is, nobody knew that's outside of that realm. But now they do. Now I know who he is. Now I know what he was doing. He was out trying to work for the cause. I know he was frustrated that it was stalled in committee, but there's a lot of bills. Let me tell you, we pointed this out to everybody years ago, Mel, when I did Legislature 101 with State Representative Bill Zedler. The state legislature is a bill-killing machine. That's what it does best. Kill bills. And it doesn't surprise me after looking at his campaign literature that bill would be stalled in committee, because I think he is just he's a what would you call it? A rhino?
A rhino. He's a rhino.
Yeah, I mean he's more apt to be about wildlife sanctuaries and stuff like that down on the coast than he is about
there's
passing.
one more thing.
Okay,
I was going.
He has a rating from the National Rifle Association. I don't know how.
I don't know how the hell that happened, but I damn sure like to find out, because I'm a life member.
Especially after this. Yep.
And as a matter of fact, I just may get an email off to the NRA tomorrow, and any other listeners that belong to the NRA need to send an email to the NRA asking, why is this guy A-listed on the NRA? Because that is just ridiculous. You know, there's a couple of other interesting facts about Mr. Boner. Apparently, he is rather well known as a rabid dog when it comes to having a temper.
Yes.
And it's talked about very openly. Now, this guy that knocked on his door was also working the neighborhood, dropping literature. And now Boner is all upset because he's thinking that this guy was out intimidating his neighbors, yada, yada, yada. And, you know, people everyone here in Texas needs to now start calling their representative to say, what in the hell is this guy doing as Speaker of the House?
Exactly.
Are you nuts?
Exactly. I mean, if he can't control his temper any better than that, to be vindictive and go back and you know, I have a feeling the bill was never going to get out of committee anyway, because I don't think he was ever going to allow it. So now we know who he is. Now we know what he's all about. And now we can
closet queen progressive.
Exactly. And now we can do something about it. You know, but then again, there's these people that circle the wagon around these jerks, and they end up there for a very long time. Let me tell you, he has a degree in political science. He has the ultimate in being a member of this, a board member of that, a board member of this, a banking committee, this, that, environmental stuff. I mean, the list runs on and on and on, including his A rating with the NRA. I mean, it's what the stuff he has on his resume is a politician's dream, no matter which side you're on.
Well, and don't kid yourself. He will turn against bikers just like if he can't even be in favor of Second Amendment value and our rights, our God-given rights under the Second Amendment.
Exactly.
Given an opportunity, he will turn on the bikers on anything. Trust me.
Yeah. Yeah. And we'll have more to say about him as we go along here. But keep that in your notebook, that name. And also the guy that has the right to work for his cause, to get out and pass out political literature about constitutional carry, the Second Amendment. He has the right to do that, whether the Speaker of the House likes it or not. I mean, here we go again. The privileged. Look at me, I'm the Speaker of the House. He came to my neighborhood. Oh my God. He was breaking no laws. He just knocked on his door, wanted to ask him a question.
And he wasn't threatening. I understand also he is now trying to tell people that he was, Boner is trying to tell people that this guy was armed and intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy, from what, he is speaking out and saying, hey, I wasn't carrying a gun.
Mm-hmm.
Boner is lying.
There you go.
Surprise, surprise.
Mel, what was it we talked about today as we were installing my halo light, which I love, but I told you about this movie I saw last night. Out of the blue, I went to a movie. And so, I didn't know, I just went to the next one that was next. And it was called The Public. And in this movie, Mel, some homeless guys take over a library. Well, somehow the local prosecutor got involved in it. He shows up on the scene. Oh, Mel, this is, I mean, I don't even know what to say. It's so what we've seen already. I mean,
so Abel Reyna.
Yeah, it was so Abel Reyna. This guy goes down to the scene, and he goes and talks to the guy that's allowing the homeless people or helping the homeless people hold the library, stay in the library overnight because it's freezing freaking cold outside. It's like 10 degrees, and so he's allowing these people to stay in there, but they're acting like it's a hostage situation. And so the prosecutor goes in there and talks to him, says a few things. He sees they're not armed. He sees there's nothing really, just a bunch of homeless people inside the library. Well, he goes back outside and he tells the media, Mel, look, there's a hostage situation going on in there. He may be armed. I mean, they're not able to come out. I mean, why aren't they able to come out if he's not armed? And, he just stood there and told a bunch of freaking lies, one after the other. And then he gets back into where the command post is at. And the detective asked him, what did you do? What did you just do? He said, Mel, I set the narrative so we can win. He created a freaking narrative that was not true so he could win. Now, I almost came out of my seat. Threw my popcorn around, I mean, my God, where have we seen this before? And it's so true. And I heard it again today on another show. It had nothing to do with that. About setting the narrative and pushing the lie. And I'm going, my God, I mean, we've got to expose this at every angle, every way we can, share this information. This is what's going on. And
hey, we saw that narrative in Waco.
Yes, we did.
With Swanton.
Yes.
Claiming there were hordes of motorcycle gangs headed for Waco, seeking revenge, had just broken into National Guard armories and taken laws and explosives.
Oh, yeah.
Coming to Waco to seek revenge.
Melon-Toff cocktails.
Ass lie.
Hide your children. I mean, it was one lie after the other. And just like we've seen recently, where the DPS puts out the false narrative that, hey, we've got 700 Mongols over there in Fort Worth. They're coming to town. We got to go down there and keep them from going into any restaurants, any bars, any place. We've got to keep them from having a good time. So they go down and they monitor them. I mean, you saw how they treated Vagos MC. I mean, the narrative that's being pushed out there against motorcyclists is just incredible. But it's not just motorcyclists, man. It can happen to anybody. It can happen to anybody, and it happens in Washington, D.C. every day. Every day. And you see the media and the shit they push. It's incredible. It's like we try to tell you, hey, every time you turn on that television, every time you turn on the news, even that movie I saw the other night, the one I'm talking about, it had nudges. It had nudges in it trying to push you into a certain direction. And it's that way everywhere. And everybody, if you hear that noise in the background, I got the air conditioning running. It was 80 degrees when I got in here, so I had to turn it on.
Thank God it's warm.
Yeah. Really, it's better than the cold, that's for sure. But man, this is what we're seeing. This is what we're seeing, and you've got to understand what it is, and you've got to understand you've got to fight back. You've got to understand how to fight back. And Mel and I are going to be on the road this weekend. We're going to be in Houston on Saturday. We're going to be up in Bedford on Monday night. We're going to try and get around and see as many groups, as many people as possible, because we got a plan. And we want to tell you about it, but we're not going to do it here because the other side listens to us. The other side listens to us. And many times, they react to us. And we think they did just recently. We'll talk about that in person. Incredible, Mel. Hey, let's get to the topic of the night, which is these fusion centers. Are you ready?
Yep.
Okay. I wrote an article the other night. I was just goofing around, and I was talking about the big, massive confusion centers. We like to call them confusion centers. The big, massive center they built up in Utah. Mel, they've spent billions, trillions. They're probably still spending on it. But this thing is designed to catch every text floating around in the air, every phone call, every conversation, every bit of digital stuff that's floating around out there in this cybersphere, however you want to say it. It's the only way I know to say it. So anyway, they've got this huge spine networks that connects billions of pieces of data every day. Every day, Mel, they're collecting all this stuff. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, okay, when you look at a computer, you'll hear many people say, crap in, crap out. I'm sitting there thinking about that and I'm going, well, wait a minute. We got all these people all over the world that they're monitoring with these billions of pieces of information and all these conversations. And Mel, half the world are fools. They're going to be out there saying stupid stuff they shouldn't be saying, or just being an idiot. So how do you go about deciding who's who, what piece of information you got to really check out, and it's no wonder, because they can't do it. They can't do it. There's not enough field agents to go check out all the bullshit that's going on out there. There's just not enough. They can't do it. They can't do it. They just zero in, I guess, using algorithms or whatever, trying to figure out who's who. This is the reason people slip through. This is the reason people slip through, like the Boston bombers and others. They slip through the net. They can't check everybody. They can't follow everybody. So they slip through the cracks. But now crap in, crap out. They have all this crappy information. So what does the government decide to do? They decide to fund all these fusion centers all across the country, giving them grants to build these fusion centers. Oh, don't let Texas fall behind. Hey, they need 9 of them. 9 of them, Mel. Now, let me point out, we've got one that collects all the information, shit floating around in the air. Just one that does all this stuff. But why do we need 9 in Texas when one would suffice?
That's totally ridiculous. Totally ridiculous, and is so much behind the times relative to today's technology. There's a couple of issues here. One, they're mandated to treat those databases certain ways by state law.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them is, even if you've been in the database and you go a certain length of time and you don't have any convictions or charges against you, you can demand to have your name removed.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the problem is, when you when you submit your name to the state wanting to know if your name is currently on any database, unfortunately, you have no way of knowing that the information you're going to receive back is reliable.
Right.
And we know that for a fact because in talking to the attorney that comes to the COC, Bill Smith, he had a client that he inquired for, and the state came back saying that's negative. But by golly, within a month or two after that, the guy gets, he's pulling into an area that's apparently restricted or something, and this deputy sheriff, who's moonlighting as a security guard on the gate, runs him through their database and comes back and says, you know, you're on a gang database. So, you know, they have yet to figure out what the hell database this guy was looking at. I think DHS is trying to be clever and hide a bunch of crap information in various databases. See, they couldn't do it if there was just one centralized database, because now you're locked in.
Mm-hmm.
When you go to look at that database, that's all the information for everybody in the state that they've entered. But if you have separate databases, you've got information floating around there that can be accessed by certain individuals, but the state can say, well, we checked the database and you're not in it. But they're not telling you which database they checked.
Yes. And soon
Now,
they're going to have 9.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, technology dictates, and I mean, it's common sense. 9 centers, you've got duplication of equipment, duplication of personnel. In today's world, you don't need local phone lines.
No.
It's just like the alarm companies. You would be hard pressed to find a major national alarm company today that still has central stations in every city and state that they're in.
Exactly.
They may have outposts that service and install, but they have a national centralized central station with one set of operators, their computers, their receivers, their wide bandwidth lines that they deal with, and they will have an off-site backup.
Exactly.
In case there's a disaster at the first location, they can move very quickly to the backup site, which has the same data because it's backing up each other all the time. What the state of Texas is doing is maybe they're getting federal grant money right now, but let's think about this too. Even though it's federal grant money, it's still your tax dollars that you paid in on your federal income tax.
Exactly.
Okay? So you're getting raped twice here. They're getting grant money from the federal government to build these centers. And guess what? At a point, the state has either got to provide all of the financing to maintain these centers, or they're paying a portion of it because the feds are not going to pay for 100% of this on into eternity.
Right.
So, Texas could set up one central
confusion center is all they need. They don't need 9. They don't need one in Waco where Sergeant Swanton's going, we've got gangs you haven't even heard of. We've got them all. We've got them all here. Jumping up and down. Yeah. He's lying through his teeth. Well, they may have gangs. I don't know what the hell they've got there, but I mean, I don't see this huge network of gangs. Anytime I go down there, I don't see them hanging around every damn street corner. It's just not seen. And I don't see enough evidence to prove it. Now they're after MS-13. That's for damn sure, I guess.
let me blow away another lame excuse they're liable to use. They're liable to say, well, we need these databases set up because they're specific to gang activity.
Oh, yeah.
Well, lo and behold, guys, we're in the 21st century here, and there's something called a relational database. And a relational database is something you set up on one computer. Obviously, it's backed up somewhere, but you set up a relational database that has all kinds of fields of information. It could run from how many children you have to the vehicles you have, types, if you're a member of a gang, how many times you've been married. I mean, let your imagination run wild here.
Exactly.
They can enter all the data they want. Now, you don't need another database to ask for specific information. You write what's known as a query into the relational database looking for specific pieces of information. So, the bullshit that they'll try and float here, that they need specific databases, is just that. It's bullshit. All they got to do is have a relational database.
There you go.
Real simple.
Mel and I both worked in the security industry for years.
Yep. And I set up a couple national monitoring centers.
Yes.
I know exactly what equipment is needed, how much money needs to be spent, and what the communications network looks like. So, you can't bullshit me on this one.
Yeah. And hey, Mel, real quick, I'm going to say hi to Ironhead. He sent us a respect message there. Thank you, sir. From Broken Soul RA, Michigan and Tennessee. There you go. Thank you, guys. Mel, I also stated in that piece, Mel, that, hey, the Gov who wants these 9 centers could maybe go over to Dell, who's next door, and ask them to, hey, can you set us up a center that'll handle all this, where we won't have to have 9, where we won't have to have duplication, or is it just a make work program for police officers, the DPS, well, my God, we got to have people employed here. Well, it's just retirement. Hell, at least we know they may not be stealing it out of our motorcycle safety fund anymore.
And they're playing a shell game.
Exactly. Yeah, but they got these things all over the place. And Mel, and I always like to talk about, crap in, crap out. The data that's going in there is erroneous. We've already seen from the videos we received from the bikers that get stopped and profiled out there. And I don't care if you're a bandito. I don't care if you Vagos MC. I don't care who you are, Cossack, whoever. I don't care who you are. There are people that are not criminals that are making it into these databases. And just because you're a member of a motorcycle club, that's not good enough. That's not good enough. If you've been cleared by the state, vetted by the state, with a license to carry, you're not a criminal. You're not a criminal. Therefore, you shouldn't be approached as one. And we're going to have our day over this stuff. We are. And you guys that are out there that, you get stopped multiple times. It is for your safety that you video these stops and get them to us. Get them to us so we can analyze them, see what them, especially if they're freaking pricks and assholes. Or just plain dumb.
not only that,
Don't know what they're
consider us
talking
as your
about. Go ahead, Mel.
consider us your backup system. You get a copy of the video to us, and if sometime you decide to hire an attorney to take some sort of legal action and you've lost your video, we'll have it for you.
Yep. And we've got a plan. At some point, we're going to make a move. We've got to have more data, and especially in the cities that want to do this again and again and again. I want that Garland gang unit officer on another freaking video. But Mel, Geezer's got a theory that they're giving us a wide berth because they don't want to end up on a YouTube video. But then again, you guys that are in clubs that have been stopped again and again and again and continue to be profiled again and again and again, get these guys on video. Get them. They've at the bottom line, they're going to change their behavior toward everybody. That's for sure. That's for sure. Mel, you got any more to add to Confusion Centers? We've been going on 40 minutes. This is hard to believe.
Yeah.
We did start 7 minutes early. About 7 minutes early. So we've been going 30
Yeah,
some
but
minutes.
it's, the crap that they try to run on the public anymore.
Oh,
And sad to say, they're able to run a lot of stuff on the public. It's, I think a lot of it's through complacency.
yeah.
A lot of people out there feel, well, it's not affecting me, so why should I worry? But we keep going back to that famous quote during World War II, where, first they came for the trade unions. I wasn't in the trade union, so I didn't speak up. And it goes on down the list who they came for, and then they come for you. You're the last one left. They will eventually get to you.
Yeah.
So you can think and believe all you want that it may not be affecting you right now, but think back what our liberties were several years ago compared to what they are now. Think back to when you grew up as a child, what you were able to do, and what you can't do today, or what you wouldn't dare let your kid do because you're in fear for their life. Same thing. Owning a gun. Now they're talking about red flag laws and, all kinds of crap. Yeah, everything we hold dear to our hearts is being challenged, and they're trying to take away from us because they think that government should take care of us.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the whole push today. You look at maniacs like this AOC that got just got elected. She's 29 years old, but you know what? She represents a certain heartbeat going on in this country.
Yes.
And that's scary as hell. She didn't get in there through winning some lottery. She got in there because she won votes. She represents a certain faction of people that like what the hell she stands for.
Yes.
And that base is growing. And unless we do something about it, it's going to overtake us.
I hear you. Do you guys? Hello, Tom from Nebraska. Said good evening, Mel. But you guys, like I said, we do have a plan. We will be speaking before different groups, and you know, and we've still got our mission. We're going to be going to these cities that say they don't want us. By God, that's where we're going. We might even go have a picnic in Waxahachie, Texas. Yeah, right in front of the courthouse. I can see it now. And our weather's starting to straighten out here in Texas, although it's still raining on the weekends. Uh, we've got to get that moved around. And we'll ask the Lord to do just that. Give us some good weekends so we can get out there and be places where they don't want us. Maybe set up shop in front of the police department in Lake Dallas, Garland, Fort Worth, Dallas. The list runs on and on here in North Texas. Let's see. I see Daniel Sawyer. How you doing? And so, anyway, Mel, are we there? We just had some more people join us, so I hate to end it right here. But you guys, if you got any questions, real quick, you can there. If you're on the chat screen, you can ask real quick. We'll wait a few minutes, see what pops up there. And but anyway, Mel, man, I wish we had longer to spend in Houston. I really could use some seafood, you know.
Well, while we're waiting to see if there's any questions, let's talk about your halo a little bit.
Oh man, I love that halo.
There's a lot of guys out there that don't realize, you know, for some time, all of us have bitched and worried about the headlight on the motorcycle. It doesn't cast enough light at night. Some of the real new bikes that they've come out with now have the LEDs, you know, when you buy a Harley or whatever other brand. And, but there's a lot of us riding around on motorcycles that don't have an LED headlight.
Yeah.
And, you know, the conversion put out by Harley was like $500. And who the hell wants to spend $500 for a light bulb? But Hogworks came out with something. And I'm telling you, for as little as a little over, I think it's like $220, you can buy an LED headlight for like your Street Glide or Road King. So I'm talking the 7-inch for as little as that. Now, we spent a little bit more. We spent $268 for the Halo because we love it. It's bright. And, you know, you look for a bright headlight for two reasons. One, you want to see where the hell you're going at night so you're not overdriving that pitiful little light beam that's usually sticking out in front of your motorcycle. And the second issue is most of us ride around in the daytime with our high beams on, praying that we'll be seen. Well, this halo lets you be seen. Trust me. It's like the sun coming down the road.
Oh, yeah.
They're nice. And these bulbs are guaranteed for life, according to the conversation I had with the guy at Hogworks. They're selling them like hotcakes. I guess J&P is wiping them out on their inventories as they come in. Even a lot of Harley dealerships are now starting to sell their lamp. They've got several different iterations of it. And like I said, it's guaranteed for life. So for a couple $100, you can have a true blue LED headlight, and it doesn't put the strain on your electrical system that your regular light does. So, and I guess Popeye, at the conclusion of the show, might jump out on the road and light up the countryside just to see how bright he can make it.
That's exactly what I'm going to do. As soon as we're off here and I wrap up and, post it everywhere I need to post the radio show. Oh, look, and everybody, make sure you share, sure you subscribe to our channel. When we get 1,000 subscribers, we're able to do more when we're live.
And we're starting to get close.
Yeah. So you guys help us out there, and, we'll be, just know that we're working on our constitutional rights. This is what we do. If your constitutional rights are violated, tell us what's going on, where, and we'll see what we can do. If you're close enough, if you're in Texas, well, we may show up on your doorstep. We may show up on your city's doorstep, your county's doorstep. That's how we ended up in Waco. And we may be going back over these damn fusion centers that are not needed, that are duplicated everywhere. Well, a freaking make work program, that's all it is. They don't need 9 when one would suffice. And we know what we're freaking talking about. If all these police organizations have to connect to it, you know what? That's their problem. They've got to figure out how to connect to it. It's their cost. We should be paying the cost again and again and again, 9 times. We're out of our damn minds if we go along with it. But there are politicians, there are people that will fall all over themselves and not think about the cost of it all, because we've just got money to throw everywhere. Our national budget is still climbing like hell. It's still climbing. We're gonna go broke eventually. When the interest on the debt gets more than the money we're bringing in is, and let me tell you, you're going to need Donald Trump, because you're going to need jobs. You're going to need a strong economy, because Democrats aren't the freaking answer. They're a job-killing machine. They are also a nation-killing machine. Just keep it up. Just keep it up. We hope you recognize this before it's too late. It's too late. You go back to the Tea Parties and stuff, the modern day Tea Parties. You know what that was about? That was about out of control spending. It wasn't about anything else. It wasn't about Obama. It was about out of control government spending. That's what kicked them off. Was that. And we're still continuing to do it. Obama loads up a plane with $1.5 billion and gives it to Iran. We're out of our freaking minds. He ought to be in jail. But then again, there's a lot of politicians that should be in jail, and that's even in your local school board, in your city council. Oh, we've sent them to jail here in Dallas. Oh yeah. But many are getting off the hook, because there's a 3-tiered system. And Mel, that's my rant for the night.
Sounds good to me.
All right. Good evening, everybody. Have a great day.
Good night.
The weather's changing, and ride safe. Bye-bye.